Thank you, Umi. Thank you, Olu. Thank you, Tommy. So again, I'm going to be very real. This technical issue is about to drive me.
Chineye from Nigeria.
Hello, Chineye. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Okasana. Okasana, we're on the same team, so yeah, welcome. Thanks. Thank you, Dolapo. I see you. Um, hmm. Thank you, everyone. Like I said, we're just having a bit of technical issues, and I'm trying to resolve that. So just give me a few minutes. Okay. Da, da.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can send it.
Okay, please, can you mute yourself when you join? Thank you. And tell us where you're joining from. Um, I am from, I'm in England at the moment. So where are you joining from? Where are you joining from? Tell us where you're joining from. We have, I mean, this is a global meetings because we have people from Middle East, we have people from Northern Ireland, I mean, we have people from Scotland, we have people from England, we have people from Africa, we have people from US, we have people from Canada. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be able to host you on this inaugural meeting. Thank you so much for taking out time out of your schedule to join us. Like I said, we have a bit of a technical issue. We're just trying to solve it. Once we're sorted, we would start. I see you, Peju. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Okay. While I continue admitting everyone, I'll just finally, so sorry, Monica, Dr. Monica, really sorry. I'm not sure what happened there, but it's fine. So we'll just start so that we don't keep everyone waiting. Thank you, everyone. Um, Thank you for joining us on this inaugural meeting. As you know, or if some of you don't already know, my name is Tolu Abikoye, and I would be your host for this meeting. I'll just give an introduction of what we are on about. I would be sharing my screen, so please confirm if you can see my screen, and then we go ahead. I will be sharing. Yeah. Okay. Please confirm if you can see my screen so that I can go ahead. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Monica. All right, thank you for joining. Like I said, my name is Tolu Abikoye. I am the founder of Joyd. Joyd is a multi-dimensional app that is poised to be an intervention for postnatal depression in women, right? And funny enough, and men, because we have men on this call, so again, it's imperative that we focus on how holistic it is, because the birth of a child or the birth of a baby or when you get pregnant, it's a thing of joy. And we want that joy to be something that lasts, and so we're providing, that's what birthed Joyd. Again, it's interesting to know this statistic, not to scare anyone or to add pressure. It's just for you to know that 1 in every 7 mother experience postnatal depression globally. 80% of these cases are undiagnosed and untreated. Again, it's not just about baby blues of how you feel, maybe you're tired or you're cranky and all of that. It is a whole suite of issues. And I know that, we have experts on this call that would talk about it. A lot of times mothers don't say anything, and that's because they don't want to. Sometimes it's because of the culture, right? And again, where I'm from, you just brace up. You don't talk, just brace up. But again, what we're trying to do is when you join, can you just mute yourself? Thank you. What we're doing here is to create a platform that allows you to speak about it, remove the stigma around it, and support you with technology and community. The rippling effect of this is what translates, is beyond me as a mother, is beyond me, is beyond my child. It affects the workplace. It affects my surrounding. Again, because emotions have a way of moving from one person to the other, right? It's not just Tolu, it is a public issue and it is a societal challenge. That's why we have asked Mrs. Dio, who would be speaking shortly with her experience, to come and give us, educate us, because knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is more powerful. So I will just introduce her and then let her get on with it. Yes, Miss Dyer she's a dedicated health professional with over 20 years experience spanning nursery, nursing, midwifery, and research. Her journey in healthcare has taken her across the globe. So she has experience in Africa, in United Kingdom, and now in the Middle East. So it is very holistic because it cascades different cultural dynamics in maternal and women's health. As a nurse, she has, as a nurse, she has provided critical care and guidance to mothers, ensuring safe and empowering childbirth experiences. Her role as an educator has allowed her to mentor and inspire future healthcare professionals. At the same time, she does research, right, focusing on advancing knowledge and driving innovation in women's health. So without taking much of your time, I'll just let her go ahead to present and tell us what we need to do. So let me just give a rundown of what the mode of operation would be. So she would go through her slides, and afterwards, where you have questions, you can drop it on the chat, and then would be able to speak and she'll be able to answer to those questions. So I'll stop sharing now and allow her to share. Thank you. Mr. You can go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. And can you see my slide?
Yes, I need to stop sharing.
Okay. Okay, so as it has been said, good evening. My name is Daya. I'm a nurse, I'm a midwife, I'm a lecturer, I'm a researcher. And we just want to talk about postnatal depression today. And hopefully these are the objectives that we hope to achieve in the short time that we have, and then we can have a discussion if anything comes up. So we're going to deal with what is postnatal depression in itself, who can get it, how would you know, what are the symptoms, what are the barriers to the detection of this disease, and we want to address some myths as well. What does culture have to do with it? How can the woman or the man actually going through PPD, as we'll call it, we might be referring to as PPD, postnatal depression. How can the person going through it help themselves, and how can the others help? And we just mentioned briefly about the other mental health disorders that occur as well, and the screening tools that are in use. Okay, so let's just get into it. So the background is that mental health is mental well-being rather is defined by WHO as a state where a woman or a person recognizes their capabilities, they can cope with the normal stress of life and work productively, which leads to contributing to their society. On the other hand, maternal mental health disorder is a major public health concern internationally. It's not only about one continent, it is well known in different continents in this world. And it may be noticed for the first time either during pregnancy or after childbirth, or for some people that had the prior diagnosis, then they could have it even earlier on. And one of the major mental health disorders that is affecting a lot of people is anxiety as well as depression. This is the most common mental health disorder, and it affects about 15% of people. So now we want to go into postnatal depression. It is a more severe and long-lasting depression that is experienced mostly after birth. But as I said earlier, some people will have some symptoms earlier on in the pregnancy. But as Tolu said, is more than the baby blues. The baby blues happen usually from the day of birth and usually is cleared up by the second week of birth. And this affects about 13 to 19% of women, childbearing women. And its characteristics is the fact that you are worried excessively. And then that leads to a difficulty in caring for yourself and the baby. So who are the people that might get it? Well, from evidence, a person or someone that has a family member that had depression or anxiety or postnatal depression can get it. Someone that suffers from premenstrual dysphoric disorder or syndrome, you know, when you're having your periods or days before it and you're having difficulty, you're bloated, you're craving for different things, you are prone to suffering from PPD. when there's inadequate support in caring for the baby once you've then had them, or when there's financial stress, marital stress, complications in pregnancy, or the birth. Maybe it was an unplanned cesarean section, for example, or you had an instrumental birth, or the baby is now born and is needing extra care. So complications, I think a lot of people fall into this category, really. There's either financial stress or marital stress, or maybe there's the person needed maybe IVF to get pregnant, or they had pregnancy loss, or different things like that. Also, if there's a major life event, such as a loss of a loved one, if you've just moved house or you've lost your job, the mothers of people, the mothers that had multiple births also are prone to having this postnatal depression or an imbalance in thyroid, as well as diabetes, which could be gestational or the established ones, which is type 1 and type 2. Another key factor is when the pregnancy was unplanned in the first place. And this could go with violence experience, because some people, the pregnancy was unplanned, perhaps because they were raped or they've been abused or in any way. So those are the people that can get it. Now, what are the things that you would notice as a person that would allude you to the fact that you might be going through PPD? You have low mood or severe low mood or severe mood swings. This minute you're happy, the next minute you're sad, you are irritated. You know, someone is trying to give you a cup of tea and you're thinking, oh, why did you make it too sweet? Why is it there not enough sugar? Oh my God, why? I told you I wanted tea. You know, typical. Then you are crying too much. You might feel hopeless. What is there to life anyway? You might feel restless. You cannot settle. You might actually have difficulty bonding with your baby. You just feel this is just too much stress. You cannot cope. And then you're withdrawing. You find that you're withdrawing from your friends. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to speak to them. You don't want to communicate with them. And you lose appetite. Or in some cases, you actually eat too much. Some people, they cannot sleep. They are very tired, or they lose their energy. They have no interest. This is a major point. There is no research that you read regarding PPD that will not talk about this. And actually, the screening focuses on the fact that you lose interest in something that you usually would find pleasure in doing. And you're irritable and angry. You're afraid that you're not a good mother. You feel worthless. There's shame, there's guilt, and so on and so forth. And sometimes it leads to a thought of harming the baby. You have panic attacks and a thought of committing suicide. That is the extreme case. Now we want to deal with what are the barriers? What are the things that make this PPD go undetected? As we have said, it affects a lot of women and they go undiagnosed. Why? Because some women are actually not willing to disclose because of the societal expectation to say, you're a mother, you should just get on with it. They do not want to disclose that they are having this feeling. They expect that you should be joyful having a child. So they don't even want to tell anybody because there is that fear that when you disclose it, for example, in the UK, they can deem you being a mother that is not fit to look after the child, and they can take the child away from you. This is the fear that some people have. Some people have assumed that it's actually normal, maybe due to the fatigue, the fact that they've not slept. So that's another barrier. And some people always say it's a label, it's a stigma, and some people are actually discouraged by their loved ones from seeking help. So it then goes on unnoticed. Now, the myths around PPD, we've talked about a few already, that it only affects women. That is not true. Some men also suffer from this PPD. However, in the men is usually later on, rather than, after the 2 weeks that the mother experiences it, usually is maybe about 3 months, and is from them feeling sometimes neglected, ignored, not being part of anything, if the woman is breastfeeding, for example, and then they feel, oh, I'm useless, I cannot do anything. Thankfully, some men are now being involved more in the care of their child. But when they are not that way inclined, we have people that they are not that way inclined. They feel, okay, I'm no use now. Okay. Another myth is the fact that people think that the woman does not love their child or is a bad parent. But this is far from the truth. This is just an emotional feeling. It's not the truth at all. Every mother has one iota, let's give them one iota of love for their child. And then there's this myth that the woman will harm their babies. Most times, there is no evidence to suggest that. There is no evidence that has proven that a woman that suffers from postnatal depression alone harm their baby. When it goes to the psychosis, then there is a risk of harm. But the PPD by itself, they don't harm, and they are not always crying. So let's be clear about that. And another myth or misconception is the fact that it goes away by itself. Most times it does not. Most times you need help. Now, the help that you get is up to you, is the degree at which you have this PPD. It could be professional one where you just talk to somebody. We'll talk about that later in the presentation, or just talking to your friend or getting help. Now, let's look at the culture. From African culture, where most of us that are logged onto this call are from, you as a woman is expected to be a mother. When you get married, the sisters, the siblings, the sister-in-laws, everybody, they're expecting that, oh, very soon you're going to break a news to them that you're having a child or you've had a child. So from this point of view, whatever challenges that you faced en route to becoming a mother, they don't want to know. They don't care. The only thing they want is to see that you have a child in your arms. So for a person that had to go through IVF, for example, or had several miscarriages, nobody saw this journey. They see you as a woman and this is your duty. So it is a normal life. It's a normal thing. So therefore, you are expected at the end when you have your baby to be grateful. And if there's any challenges, they'll tell you, suck it up. What's up with you? You're not the only woman that's given birth in the world. Look, several women have done it before. So they'll tell you, get on with life. This is the culture that we are in. In addition, mental illness, it's seen as a taboo. So no family, no one wants to be associated with that diagnosis, because it would then be passed on, oh, that woman that their family has this and their family has that. So this is the culture that is related to PPD or any mental health disease for that matter. We don't want to be associated with that, but we need to bring ourselves out of this. So how can that woman or that man help themselves? The first thing is to accept that you need help. Accept that the fact that you are going through something. When you go through, you experience those symptoms that we mentioned earlier, accept it and then get help. Some of us have help at home. Yes, fatigue has to do with it as well. And you have somebody that can help you with this and that. Delegate. Oh, please help me with this and help me with that. Also, these are things that we can do ourselves. The person needs to rest, sleep well. Now, some people assume that it's only night time that you can sleep. Far from it. Because most times, actually, if you're breastfeeding, for example, it is at night that the baby wants to feed more and wants to play more. And you're thinking, oh, what is this now? This baby is now awake. For those who are mothers amongst us, or you've been with a mother, they will be able to tell you the baby is more active. Actually, this is a nature thing. This is a physiological thing, because the breast milk is produced more at night. why nature did that, I wish I could ask, but this is it, you know. That is the truth. So whenever the baby sleeps, we say, culturally, what we'll do when the baby sleeps, oh, let me go and have my bath. Oh, let me wash the plate. Oh, let me wash the clothes. Oh, let me do this. Let me do that. Please set time so that you can do all those things or delegate them to someone else to do. I always, when I did teaching antenatal classes, I would say to the woman, you know, there are some things that we can cook and keep in the freezer before you even have your baby, so that when you have that baby, you can just bring it out, defrost it, and pam, pam. You don't have to spend hours cooking, hours doing this, hours on that, whereas you can make life easier for yourself. The next thing that we might need to do is explore psychotherapy. This is done by professionals. It's either CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, or interpersonal therapy. And mainly it's about talking. So you talk to that person, that professional that you sought help from, about your feelings, and they will help you and guide you on the way to navigate this feeling. Okay, so that is another way of you helping yourself. Seek help from a professional. The other way by which you could help yourself is you might need to go have some medication. Once you sought the professional, you might need to get some medication. Some people take medication or they are prescribed medication and they don't take it. That's why I put it there. You need to take it in order for it to help you. And most of the medications now are suitable with breastfeeding. Just consult with your doctors and they'll be able to prescribe you the appropriate one that is suitable for you. The other thing, you know, that we can do is join a support group of people that are experiencing PPD or any mental health disorder as well. Speak to your friends, speak to your family. Don't be isolated. Don't feel that it's only you in this world that is going through things. I've had, you know, women who tell me, you know, because I joined this WhatsApp group and then I just had a concern and it was 1 a.m. I sent this question on the group that I'm in and bam, somebody just responded at that very time. So that tells you that you're not alone. This disease, as we said, is a global disease. And guess what? WHO predicted that it will be one of the major costs that will be affecting the world. It's going to cost the world a lot of money. And here we are still at this point talking about it. And even Embrace, the latest report on Embrace is telling us now that it's the #1 reason why, you know, perinatal mortality. So it is a major issue. It's good that we're talking about it. And the last but not least, something that I would advise for you is for you to show yourself some kindness. We are very used to focusing on others. Include yourself. Have a treat. Go for a walk. Watch movies. Watch Netflix. Whatever rocks your boat, do it. Play Sudoku. Whatever you can do. Shopping, either window shopping or with your husband's credit card. I always advise that. It's the best, I tell you. Just say you want to buy nappy. Go shopping. Yoga, relaxation. Do something that you enjoy doing. Make time for yourself. How can others around us help? First thing I'm going to say, don't judge or condemn. It's unique. This person is going through it. See how you can help. Give a listening ear. The partner can take turn in looking after the child or the children, as the case may be. If there is mom, if there is auntie, if there is sister, everyone can take a turn. Just bring the baby back to the woman when the baby needs feeding. You know, it's always helpful. That is how you can help. Think about, oh, let me just take this child off this mother for a few minutes. Even if it's to go and have a shower, that is still self-care. That is something good. Even if it's to have a power nap. Guess what? Those power naps are That's why they are called power naps. They are very, very helpful. You just take 15 minutes where you zonk off. I've done this a few times at work where I'm on a busy shift, and you have to just take a minute. Just take a minute out of that task that you have, okay? So that you ensure you are supporting that woman to eat well and sleep well. And then also support the woman when they are seeking professional help. Ask them, when is the appointment? Can I drop you there? Can I look after your baby whilst you go there? And also support her when she wants to take time for herself. If she wants to go out with her friends just to have coffee, be available to help that woman. Now, what are the other mental health disorders that are available? Eating disorder. This always will say, "Oh, we're Africans. We don't do it." When you have a plate in front of you that is full of, I don't even know what to mention now, a big plate like this, you know, that is eating disorder. Substance or alcohol abuse, PTSD, post-traumatic stress dysfunction, extreme fear of childbirth, panic disorder, OCDs, where the cutlery has to face the knot. It has to be blue or not. Why did you put it there? I told you it needs to be there. OCD, anxiety, and the worst is puerperal psychosis. So those are some of the other mental health disorders. Now, screening. When you see the professional, there are so many screening tools out there. I'm sure we've heard about it. In fact, you probably would have been asked these questions. How did you feel in the last few weeks? Do you feel hopeless? Do you have little interest about things, or you've lost pleasure and things like that? So that is GAD2 at PHQ2. There's the very popular EPDS, and a lot of research has gone into those tools as well to see how useful are they, how can they be helped. But the point is, you know yourself, you know how you feel. One thing before I round up is to say healthy eating is for you, is another way to look after yourself. Research shows that some people that are not eating healthy, what we eat affects our mood also. We know that. A lot of people want to eat chocolate because it makes them, interestingly, I'm sure I'm one in a million, I don't like chocolate. But anyway, if chocolate rocks your boat, that is perfectly okay. But for a mother, it's better to eat healthy, have a variety of food, just like the plate you can see, different colors have got different nutrients. It's not about just eating protein or just eating carbs. No, you need a bit of everything to get better. And always remember, put yourself first. Help yourself to heal and recover. And you'll get better soon. So to summarize, if we look at this picture, this is how the head of the woman that is going through a mental health disorder is. It's like a yarn of wool that is just mumbled and jumbled together. But you, as a person that is in contact with them, can help to straighten it. So don't think that, oh, you don't have medication or you don't have a big thing. Little things that you do help. Little things that the woman does help as well. Because good mental health, self-care, and well-being, supported by integrated services and us at the right time, in the right place, should be what we all aim for. And Albert Einstein said, our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. It's a beautiful thing to be a mother, or mother in waiting, actually. So we need to help ourselves to go through this time for those who are in our sphere of circle. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, thank you. That was wholesome, and I mean it in every part of the world. It was wholesome. Thank you. I mean, you spoke to Dad. I like the part of credit card, and I would. I mean, it's recorded, so I'll make sure I send that particular clip to my husband so that He knows. Thank you so much. I'll just go to some of the questions, and maybe would afterwards go as well while we're on this. So one of it is, how can we start conversation with our partner on the difficulties with our mental states?
Okay, how can we start the conversation? It's
Yes.
I think it needs to start even before the pregnancy is planned. It should be
Okay.
part of the planning to say, okay, we are now starting a family, peradventure, I have mood swing. Interestingly, we talk about PMS, right? So you know yourself that you are having difficulty even before you got married. So most likely it would translate into when you then have the baby. So you need to have that conversation to say, if you feel, because some people, they don't voice or verbalize the fact that they are going through things, but the husband might notice. So it needs to be a partnership. We are a team here. So you have that conversation. Please, my darling, my husband, my whatever you call your partner, if you notice that there's something out of the ordinary, not me as a person, please speak to me. And if need be, maybe they have a visit by the health visitor or they have a midwife visit them, the man can voice it out as well. It's part of the screening and seeking for help. Because at the end of the day, the husband wants what is good for the wife or the partner, let me use the correct terminology, and the child and the family. So this is a way of addressing that.
Okay. The other question is, please just hold on. Let me just. So is majoring around culture, right? And because, I mean, the question is, because culture like is passed from like generation to generation to generation, what can I do as a mother to break that culture? So this is an African asking that question. And I know, I mean, just buttressing on this question, because I've done interviews and I've spoken to Europeans as well, and they have that culture of not speaking up as well. So as an individual or as a mother, what can I do to break that culture?
Right. One of the first things is to accept that a mother, for example, would always have the way they did things.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody is saying is right or wrong. Okay. But a conversation and it can ensue between you and somebody that is essentially querying your ability to be a mother to say, listen, I am now in these shoes. Please allow me. I have not disregarded your experience. However, I want to try something new. This is a way to address something culturally, and you're not rude. For example, I give a typical example. When I was in the UK, I was working in the community, and a few of my colleagues came back to the office and said, oh, we went to an African home today, Nigeria to be specific, and the mother or the mother-in-law was bathing the baby and doing this, and pulling the leg and pulling the leg. What is that? Is that not abuse? I said, listen, I probably went through the same, and I'm here, I'm fine. So what I say to the women is, listen, there are some things that we see culturally and we feel maybe it's not right. Maybe I should just speak up or you don't do that. But we are here. So they raised us. So you can look away. I say it's a good time for you to go for a walk. Take time for yourself. See no evil, speak no evil. Okay. That's my point. It's usually about, oh, my mom-in-law is doing this way and da. Please accept the help that you have. This is one of the things that I said to do to yourself. Accept what you have. Now, you cannot prescribe what that helper will do. You can say, oh, please help me with this. And you cannot say, this way you have to do it. No. So accept it. That's one way of addressing the culture. Another way is when you are in the comfort of your bedroom, nobody can tell you the way to do something. So just tell them, for example, I am going to feed my baby now. take the baby, spend time with the baby, skin to skin, bond with the baby. Either she's sleeping or he's sleeping, it doesn't matter. Oh, is everything okay? Yes, I'm very fine. Baby just needs me for now. That's another way. Take time for yourself. Don't, creating conflict is even worse because then you are stressed, you are anxious again, and that is not going to help your mental health. So that's another way to address the culture. It will be said, but just say this is how I feel for now, and surely I will go through it. This is my way of dealing with things.
All right, thank you. I'm sure we'll come back to the other questions. So I just want us to move to Dr. Monica. I mean, like I said, your presentation was wholesome. It covered all the aspects of it. We would go to Dr. Monica. I would introduce her and we'll get, so she's a mom. Okay, let me just introduce, let me not ramble about it. Let me introduce. So permit me while I share my screen and just run through her profile. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Monica is a mom and she's an aspiring athlete. Like, she has been through her own health journey and she has developed an interest in nutrition and its connection to health and disease. That's why she specializes in helping people with chronic conditions through her program BAD. That's breaking the balance, authentic, deserving. It's designed to help people break the circle of chronic pain, nutrient starvation, reduce productivity, and frustration. She's a regular speaker at conferences and she's been featured on BBC Scotland Radio, BBC Scotland TV, and many, many other more programs. In addition to her academic background in microbiology and cancer research, she holds a qualification in nutrition, sports nutrition, mental health, and coaching. Her coaching has resulted in many life-changing results, which are reflected in the 4 independent businesses that she has awards for to date. So without much ado, please join me. This is going to be very interactive in welcoming Dr. Monica on this call. Dr. Monica, if you can unmute and show your video is on something.
Hello. Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me?
Okay. Yes, I can. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you. I know we had some technical issues at first, but happy to have you on this call. So
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
so if you can, I mean, let us meet you because again, like Mrs. Dye has shared, that's like the aspect, but you are a mom and you went through it. It'll be interesting to one of the things she mentioned was the community and the fact that, when someone goes through something that you're going through, it enhances that relatability of it. So would like to hear your story.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the invitation and for the platform of sharing my story to other people and hoping to inspire someone and show them that even if you are in that situation or even if someone that you love is facing this situation, it's not the end and there's a lot of things that can be done. The presentation that we just heard, like you mentioned, is been really well rounded. There's so many things that I coach and I teach as well that I was saying yes, yes, yes. I was just nodding the whole time and agreeing with what was said, especially regarding nutrition and self care and taking basically putting up boundaries around yourself so that you can protect yourself while you're vulnerable. And from then on every time as well. But before I get started with all the scientific stuff and any advice, I would like to share a little bit about who I actually am and what's my story and why am I actually here. I am a mom. I had my baby when I was 27 years. And that story happened a little bit interestingly. I came to Scotland for a PhD, and I was a very happy PhD student, and I fell in love with a Scottish man, and everything was amazing, and I felt pregnant. Not that I wasn't ready, it wasn't a mistake. We both knew what we were doing, and we just said, well, let's just wait and see what happens. And there she is. So felt pregnant, was extremely excited until about 6 months into my pregnancy, when that Scottish boy decided that he doesn't want to be a part of that picture anymore. And that's when my journey towards a lot of issues started. He just put his hands up and left. That left me on my own in a foreign country, pregnant, without finances, without family support, without friends, without absolutely anything. And I had to figure out what to do next. And it was extremely scary. I'm not gonna lie. It was the hardest part of my life that I had to go through. And I do not wish this on anybody. However, we know that we can't choose these things. These things happen to us, and we need to navigate through this. So as someone who doesn't have family here, and I was surrounded by students. I wasn't surrounded by people who knew what to do with babies. And as soon as you give birth, they're like, ugh. They don't know what to do with you either, especially when you're going through trauma. There's a lot of people who suddenly don't know how to speak to you anymore. So it wasn't just that I went through a life-changing trauma through being left alone and isolated. On top of that, I lost a lot of people who I thought were my friends. So I lost the community. I lost my tribe, so to say. I now understand that they weren't really my friends, but at that time that was painful as well. So I suddenly felt like I was all alone in the big world. And my mother is unfortunately a difficult character. And this comes to discussions on breaking traditions and breaking certain cycles that we were brought into. So I come from former Yugoslavia in the Balkans. This is kind of central to South Europe. And we also have very strong traditions, and things have to be done in a very specific way. And I never did. I was always very different, the black sheep of the family. And that's why my mother and I got estranged, because she can't control me and she wasn't happy with that. So when all these things happened, she said, right, come back home and give birth here, because she refused to come to Scotland to help me. She wanted me to come home to be there. So because I didn't have any other support, that's what I did. And I came back there 8 months pregnant. I was already massive, could barely move. And luckily I managed to get health insurance and a gynecologist, and I ended up giving birth in my hometown in the same hospital that I was born. So that was amazing. However, 3 days after I've given birth to this beautiful baby girl who's massive, things started changing inside of me. And suddenly I started crying nonstop. I was constantly in tears. You could hold a finger up to me and I would start crying. There was just no making me feel better. And I was extremely lucky because the nurses in the hospital recognized that, and they kept me in for extra days for observation. It turned out that the whole trauma of all the situation that has happened to me has kind of kicked in, and the fact that the father of my child didn't even message to ask whether I'm okay when I gave birth or whether she's alive. Nothing. He just disappeared. There was nothing from him. It was very painful. So I got into that situation where I had this beautiful baby, and it was supposed to be the happiest time of my life, but I was just absolutely shattered, and I couldn't stop but feel horrible and sad. And I didn't even want that baby at that time. Like, she is amazing. She's the best thing that happened to me. But at that very moment, the only thing that I could think about is my life would be so much easier if I didn't have her. And then all the guilt and everything else started coming in. I felt so guilty for having these thoughts. And I felt so guilty for blaming the child and all of that kind of stuff. But I couldn't help myself because I was in that situation. So my path to healing was very slow. And I would recommend anyone to actually have a slow path to healing, because that is the path that allows you to really deal with every single thing that is on your way. Because if you try to go too fast, you'll probably be skipping some essential parts. So the first thing that I had to do is I actually had to leave my mother's house because she was toxic. She was very, very toxic. She's not good to me. She did not take care of me, and she just wanted to force her ways onto me. And as we were discussing about needing to break the cycle and break the influence of families, for me, that meant I had to leave my mother so that I could get my freedom. And that was very hard. It was extremely hard. Like after 27 years of my mother being very close to me and all of that, it was very, very hard. But I had to preserve my own mental health and I had to preserve my own well-being. And I left and I went to live with my auntie. I was extremely lucky that my auntie had space for me and they were very supportive. So when my baby girl was 4 months old, I packed up all my suitcases again and moved back to Scotland because I had to finish my PhD. I'm not gonna tell you the entire story because it's long, it's complicated and complex. But when I was back here, I was on my own again, and it was extremely difficult to figure out, well, now what? I wasn't feeling any better. I was still pretty low and I was struggling, but I knew that what I had to do was I had to finish my PhD. That was my goal. So I gave myself a goal like, right, my goal is to finish my PhD, so I'll do everything to do that. And I did. I found a childminder. I found some support. I managed to find, things in council. So one thing that I'm very good at is finding out information. Probably why I became a scientist as well. It's like I'm really good at finding out information. So I went, and I kept annoying people until they managed to help me somehow. So I did manage to finish up my PhD, and it's just like still mind blowing how all that went. And my baby girl grew, and then at that point, I was finally. She was about 2.5. She was 2 years and a half old when I finally felt like I am now in the position where I can start breathing. And that's where the healing journey started. So 2.5 years, I was in sort of a cramp of I wasn't happy. I was always low. I was in survival mode. And all I did was make sure that the child stayed alive and that I stayed alive. That was it. Because if I wasn't alive, my child wouldn't be alive either. So it was quite a nasty start to her life. And it left massive consequences onto me. But one thing that I did learn along the way was what I just said. For my baby to thrive and stay alive, and for her to have a different life to what I had, I need to do things differently. And it starts with me. So the first thing that I started doing is protecting myself from people that were not good for me, putting up these boundaries. And that meant excluding my mother out of my life, which was one of the most difficult things that I've done in my life. But she had to go. She had to go because she was not good for my mental health. And she's not good for like other topic, but entire family agrees with that. So I actually had to exclude my own mother out of my life in order to survive and in order to break the cycle of all of these things that were passed from generation to generation to generation. The second thing was I had to start prioritizing myself in terms of what I want to do. As a woman from that part of the world, and I know you will resonate with that, I have been taught that my role in life is to have children, take care of husbands, and serve my mother, my father, my sisters, my brothers, and everyone else around me. That was engraved into me, that was given to me at birth. That is your role because you are a woman. And I refused to take it on. So I started slowly pushing that role away. And my role is to make my life what I want to make it because it's my life. This life has been given to me. I need to live it, not just survive it. So that's where I started Breaking Bad. And the BAD method that I developed, balanced, authentic, deserving, has brought me to happiness I'd never thought I was going to see. Balance in everything I do. So if there's stress, I make sure that I take time for fun. If I eat foods that are not so good for me, like pizza and chocolate, I also make sure that I balance that with some healthy food and salads and smoothies and things like that. Now, so balance in every aspect of my life. Authentic. That is the question that I keep seeing popping up, how to do this. Just be brave and put yourself first. I don't want to do this. Thank you, but I will not do this. I know that you think that I should, but I don't think so. So you can keep your opinion and I will do what I think is right for me. Really keeping in line with me, who I am, not allowing people to tell me what they think is good for me, what they think is good for my child, because in the end of the day, I pay the bills. I raise my child, I nurse her, I make sure that she's thriving on every level. So I am her mother. Yes, people can give me advice, but I decide what I take on. And that I've become very, very strict with that because there's like, oh, you need to dress her that way, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, thank you. That is your world, that is not mine. And that was very hard to do. So it's not like you're going to wake up tomorrow and start saying no to your mother. It will take time. It's just you say it once and see how it goes, and then try again, and you try again. And then the last part of Breaking Bad, the D, it's deserving. That's where I finally woke up and realized that I deserve happiness. I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of prosperity. I deserve to be successful. I deserve to have money. I deserve to have all the good stuff. When that clicked, things started changing because before that, I actually believed I didn't deserve all these things. I believed that I deserve to just be what my mother put me on this earth to be, a servant for everyone else. And this is why I also teach women how to be balanced, authentic, and deserving. And that is so, so, so powerful. So this is my story in a nutshell. There is so many layers to it, but I know that there's quite a lot of questions, so I'm going to open up the floor to this.
Well, thank you so much for being open and authentic and transparent. I know that quite a number of people can relate with several aspects of what you said. I mean, taking also balance from what Ms. Dio said as well. It is reassuring to know that, you know, people go through stuff and they can get out of it. There are several ways to go out of it, not one size, I mean, fits it all. Everyone has, you know, their share of experience and all of that. And like I said, thank you so much for being very real and open with it. So I'll just take it maybe from the last question. Again, I don't know who this is. For some reason, it's showing my name. So if life pushes you to live in those survival modes. So again, Mr. You can also chip in if you have to those survival mode permanently. Is it possible to deal with mental health effectively?
Very good question. And I would say that if you are in the survival mode, you will probably struggle trying to thrive because they are kind of mutually exclusive, surviving versus thriving. So most of us in the survival mode, we close up and we just do the essentials, right? Especially if you have a little baby at home and you know that at that stage of their life, they're completely and utterly dependent on you. And the only goal that you have is to survive. You will not be successful at trying to thrive. So your mental health will probably be affected. there are ways to try and obviously help yourself, and I hope you do. There are ways that, for example, you move yourself away from the situation at least for a couple of minutes a day. Can you go for a walk? Can you take your baby and just go on a mini coffee date, just you and your baby? Can you do something that you like doing? How about take your baby and go and do your nails or hairdresser or something? Just remove yourself from that situation so that you can start breathing, that you can try and regulate your hormones for a little bit, and then you go back, take a deep breath. You say, I've got this, and go back if that is the situation that you're in and you cannot leave. But if you are in that situation, I would encourage you to start looking for help and support around yourself and try and get out of it.
Sister, do you want to say something to that?
Thank you. I totally agree. And I could add that seeking help is a step forward. It's one step forward to just being surviving. You're seeking help, really. It's one of the best ways. And you choose which help you want to seek and accept the help. I'll always go back to that. Accept the help. When you ask somebody to do something, okay, let go of it and accept it when they now offer the help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Another question is, again, where to find the strength to set those boundaries if you feel alone and there's no one to support you?
Another very difficult topic. Like you said, there is no one way that is a solution for everyone. I don't know your situation, the person who asked. Where I found this strength was, funny enough, in my baby, because what I saw, I had kind of like a glimpse in the future, and I saw that if I don't do this now, this cycle will repeat, and my child will live the life I lived, and that life hurt me. That life was not good. I've got a whole lifetime story before all that happened, and it wasn't nice. It was hard and full of bumps. And I looked at that and said, do I want this for my baby? Do I want my daughter to live the life that I led? And the answer was absolutely freaking not. And that's when I was like, right, it doesn't matter about me anymore. It's quite interesting because I didn't think about me anymore. I was like, I don't care what they think about me. I don't care what they do to me, but I do care what they do to her and how they hurt her. And I don't know if the person who asked that has children, but I kind of changed. I've transformed into Mama Bear. And it's kind of like, I can't even explain. It happened after I've given birth. I was never like that. I was always like taking the hits and allowing people to treat me poorly. But after I became a mom, I was like, I can take the hit, but hit my baby, I kill you. So I started thinking about her, and that gave me the strength, honestly. Even leaving my ex, who was fine, there was nothing wrong with it, but I was so deeply unhappy in that situation. And what gave me the strength was like, do I want this for my daughter? Do I want my daughter to see that it's okay to stay in a relationship where she is dying as a person? No. Therefore, I have to show her that you have to leave to save yourself, that you are your first priority. That is it.
Thank you so much. Another question that we have here, Dr. Dai, I think I can put, why am I calling you doctor? But that's fine. Okay, so maybe we are here for other reasons. I have a friend whose baby's hand broke as a result of pulling. Also, after I had my baby, as much as I needed everyone to take the baby away from me, but I did not want to give them my baby. Can you expatiate on that in your experiences today?
Thank you. I saw that question. Thank you. It's a good question and it's a good comment. Now, there's probably a few things around that. The handbraking, what are you referring to exactly? Was that from the delivery? Was that from how somebody handled the baby? What is it that they are trying to say? Well, part of being a mother is you discern who is the right help that you get. It still goes back to it's you that is the change agent. You are the one in charge. So you cannot just go to any random person to seek for help. You need to be able to have deemed them fit to, to do what you want them to do because you are unable to do it. So you cannot just, yes, I understand you don't feel like, because it's a precious child, you don't feel like giving that child, but then you need 1 minute for yourself. So truly, you need to. Besides, when the child is asleep, you're not doing anything to them. So you are giving them away to the bed, let's say, to the cot. So that's how you look at things. When you need time for yourself, a time to heal, you are becoming, just like Monica said, you are becoming the change agent to say, okay, I don't want this to be a repeated pattern. I don't want to go on like this. I have gone through this. And this is where culture sometimes pull us back sometimes because we feel, oh, my mother did it this way and it worked, so I must. No. This is why there is research. A lot of things have gone into, oh, this is what happened then. Could it be done in another way? Could it be done in another way? So yes, you're the mother hen. Monica said bear. I call it hen. I don't know. Do the bears cuddle, right? The hen literally sits on their cheeks. So most mothers become hens because you want to protect, and that is a good trait. This is why we said, even though you're going through that mental health issue, you still want the best for yourself and your child and your family because you don't want to be deemed to be a failure. You understand? So, in that sense, you discern and you decide whom can give you help, who you can give your child to. Probably you were referring to the fact that I said that maybe a mother was bathing the baby and they turned it upside down. Maybe that's what you were referring to. I don't know. But in that case, they did it to your husband, and your husband is here with you. So they did something right. It's not everything, as I said, that we say is right or wrong. It's just that you have a different view, and that is perfectly okay. We are not even looking the same. We are not the same. We did not grow up in the same family. So the way that sometimes your upbringing is horrendous and you don't want to repeat that, that is perfectly fine. Monica told us her story. You can come to that extent, although I'm not sure how that will go down in an African setting. But anyway, as I said, there is a way you can do that. Go into the room. I said that also. Go into the room. Why are you doing this? Oh, okay, mommy, I'm coming now. I'm just coming back. Baby needs feeding. If it's not feeding for 1 hour, I'm breastfeeding. There's nothing they can do to that. So, but please be mindful of whom you ask for help, physical help, or carrying your baby or nursing your baby or something. I understand what you mean. We've had people who are pretending to be happy for you, but yet they're not. Well, you can tell. Monica said it. She thought there are some people that were her friends, but she found out very quickly that they were not. So you know who is being helpful and who at this moment is not. So protect yourself like that N. So that, remember, when the N is over the cheeks, the feathers are protecting her as the N as well as the cheek. So that is the state by which some mothers need to be, or some women, or some helpers, or the partner. So this is what we need to think about. Thank you.
Thank you. I think this question would go to Dr. Monica. How did you navigate the stress and emotional burden of walking away from people, especially family, to save your mental health?
I did and I didn't. I'll be completely honest. Some days I felt like a complete failure, did not navigate at all. And I cried and I screamed into a pillow and I emotionally checked out. That was some days. The other days I took active approach towards this, and I discussed it with a lot of people. I spoke to other family members who understood what I was going through and didn't judge me, and also knew the character of the other person. And they said, it's good for you. And then they shared their stories, how that person did them wrong, which made me feel better and made me feel like, okay, I did the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
I went through the process of grief, a genuinely entire grief, like even though the person is still alive. I went through an entire process of mourning that I have lost someone that means a lot to me. And I went through all the steps of this grief, the denial, the anger, all of that, and then in the end acceptance. And now it's been over 6 years, 7 years with zero contact, and I look back at it and it's the best thing I've done. It was the best thing that I have done for myself, because since then my life just went up. Before then it was not okay, but when I did that, my life just went up and it's been beautiful. So I would say, just prepare that you will be uncomfortable, prepare that you will be sad, and that's okay. And I think in nowadays society, they keep telling us that we need to put a front on, and that we just need to keep taking hits, and then we need to pretend that we're happy and just look happy on the outside. But I disagree with this, and I don't think we should. I think that we should say loud and clear that we are not happy and start taking steps towards fixing our own life. And if that means that we need to get rid of our own family members, then so be it. Blood, yes, is thick, but it doesn't mean that they wish you well. Unfortunately, just because they're related by blood, it doesn't mean that they're good for you. Unfortunately, there's a lot of abuse that is happening from parent to child, between husband and wife, between child and child as well. Like siblings, oh, they're terrible for abuse as well. So this is something that we need to start calling out and not allowing anymore.
Sister, do you want to say something to that, or okay, all right. The last question before I go to the one on tech is, sometimes motherhood is about selflessness, so much about selflessness. How do you not lose yourself in motherhood? Like, how?
Should I start?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So I actually have a thing with my daughter on that exact topic that we started doing. And I love it because she has now started repeating my words. And yes, it is about selflessness and it's about giving to our children and all that. But it's also about being deserving of stepping away. So I say to my daughter, I am number one. I am my number one. You are your number one. And that means that some days I will go out with my friends for drinks and she will stay home with whoever, friends, boyfriends, whatever. She will stay home because I need to go and recharge and I need to be away from her. And I am very open with her when we speak about this. I say, I love you. You mean so much to me, but I need to go recharge me so that I can love you more when I come back. But definitely always tell her I am my number one. So when she says, oh, who do you love the most? And I answer to her, me. And she looks at me like this with big eyes, like, what do you mean you? Like, I love me the most. So now she started saying that back to me because we're doing things and all of that. And it's like, so who do you love the most? And she's like, me. Because I am my number one and I am the most important person in my life. And like, yes. because that means that I know she will take care of herself first before she starts serving everyone else like I did. So that's how I deal with this. Like I've started teaching her, and there will be mom guilt, and the children will guilt trip you. Yes, they are master manipulators, and they will do that. But I call that out as well, and I say to her, darling, what you're doing right now, this is emotional manipulation, and I don't like it. You wouldn't like it if I did it to you. So I love you unconditionally, but stop guilt tripping me because it's not fair on me, and I deserve a break as well. Hope this helps.
Thank you. Sada, do you want to say something to that?
Thank you. I just wanted to add that it's a privilege to be a mother. So, and it's a duty at the same time. So if you put those two together, it will drive you, really. It will drive you on, when you feel that, oh, should I have done that? Or is that the best way to go? When you remember that you are on duty. Someone gave you that duty and you need to deliver, regardless of challenges, people around you. You need to carry on. You need to deliver. So, whichever way you feel best to deliver that role, it's what you do. You be a role model, just like Monica is saying, to that child, boy or girl. If you look after yourself, my child, my daughter would say to me, if I ask, for example, how would people describe me? She'll say, oh, she loves to help people. She helps herself. She takes time, for herself and for others. She's rounded. You can call her, but then when she cannot, it's okay to say no. And that is what we need to learn. It's okay to say no, and it's okay to also help. But be a good role model. Take time for yourself. Enjoy this role that you're privileged to be in. Thank you.
Okay, so I think one last question just came. I think it would be for you. Say, is it possible to have postnatal depression if you've got your child through surrogacy? Surrogacy, yeah.
Absolutely. If you remember the some things that I said earlier, the route to motherhood vary. Some people went through a lot of miscarriages or abortions, or they even conceived a baby that has a form of disability that they couldn't help. Some people IVF, some people did not even carry the baby themselves, which is the surrogacy. So the emotion is attached to that also, because you have to connect and liaise with people even to complete the surrogacy process. So yes, they can go through, because then when the baby now comes, you feel, oh, by the way, you were incompetent to carry the baby in the first place. Oh, I needed somebody's help. Interestingly, my daughter was asking me about surrogacy, that what is this surrogacy? And when I explained to her, she was like, look at that. And I said, look, some people, they really wish to, they tried all they can, but they can't. They could not for one reason or the other. And then there's this person where 1 minute like that, they are pregnant. 1 minute like that, they are pregnant. They can be employed, but it's not only about, oh, I'll just employ my sister. No, there's a legal thing that is attributed to that, because at the end, a mother is a mother. If even being a surrogate, they might decide, oh, actually, I've bonded with this baby for 9 months. I don't want to give it anymore. So that same way, the mother that is receiving that baby through surrogacy also will feel, oh, by the way, I failed in this way because I didn't conceive it. It's the same way, similar to adoption as well. There's all loads of processes. You'll be tested, means tested, as we use the word in England. You'll be means tested, you'll be emotionally tested, psychologically, and things like that before they now conclude. It is some people that are even making that decision on your behalf to say, yes, you are fit to be a mother. So yes, anyone that has a child, and by the way, something else I wanted to mention, some people don't have the children, but they can go through postnatal depression as well because they had a loss. Maybe abortion or miscarriage or stillbirth or in utero death or one way or the other. That's why we say it's not only about, that person that has the baby in their hand as well. So we need to be mindful, even more mindful to the person that did not even have that baby in their arms. And that is the most women that are silent about their moods, about what they're experiencing, because they just think, oh, who would understand? Who would understand? Thank you.
Wow, this discussion has been wholesome. I can't even imagine that we'll spend this time here. But so that I would be mindful of your time, I would still, I saw a question that I would speak to right now. I would just speak briefly, just a peep into what we're working on. So if you permit me, I think 2 minutes should be fine for me to just share my screen. And yeah, share. So this is the last speaker. Drum roll for me. Yes, my name is Tolu. Like you know, I'm a mother of 3 and I've had my experience. So the birth of what this is actually based on shared experience, my experience and other people's experience that I have been a part of in their journey, right? And what actually helped me, again, like I said, it's different for everyone. For me, it was Hallmark movies. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Hallmark movies. Hallmark movies actually helped me. And again, for me, it wasn't at the time when I had so I have 3 kids, not when I had the first 2. It was after I had my 3rd child, right? And I fell in love with Hallmark movies because of the feel good effect that it gives, right? It gave me that outlet, that space, which is what we have heard from Sister Dio and Dr. Monica, like that space that I needed. Because when, again, at night, wow, it's just amazing that the lactation is more at night when you actually want to be sleeping. But I was wide awake, I was cranky, and I found Hallmark movies to be very entertaining, boy meets girl, and that just removed the pressure of dealing with the situation that I was in for me. And so it was interesting, and that's what birth joyed, which is what I am working on, taking it to technology. Joy based on research and experiences, like I mentioned, is being built to provide that support. If you also listen to what we have heard from the 2 speakers, amazing, is that support is needed, help is needed. It cannot be overemphasized. Nutrition is critical. And then the icing on the cake for me is games. Like, it's very interesting. The other thing is information. Sometimes because you do not know, you tend to work in ignorance. And because you're working in ignorance, you tend to do the wrong things. And maybe your healing path that probably should have taken, just hypothetically speaking, 2 days will probably take 2 weeks. Again, information is key, but information that is applied and help that is applied, you can see the rippling effect. Because like we've all said, it doesn't only affect you as a mother, it affects the baby, it affects your surrounding, the people around you. That is why, see, I'm getting very excited. That is why joy is being built. And the other thing that we have also mentioned is the community. Like, a candle doesn't lose anything from lighting another. It only makes the room brighter. So imagine, like Sister said, I'm not able to sleep, and I reach out in a community, and someone just has a similar experience that I have, and I'm able to relate. Just look at how all of us are somewhat able to draw strength or encouragement from what we have heard right now. That sense of relatability, there's psychology behind it, and it gives you that boost. But at the end of the day, right, whatever changes that needs to be effected is affected by you. It's affected by me, Tolu Abikoye. Nobody would make that change. For maybe they would help, they would motivate, they would push, but nobody would make that change for you. So it is with, sorry to take again a bit of your time, great joy, that I want to give you a peep into what we're building. It's not complete, it's not full, but I just want you to, like I said, a peep into what we are working on. So the next screen that you would be seeing is like a talk through of what Joyd app would offer. So I would stop sharing and reshare just so. Welcome to Joyd, the vibrant wellness app designed just for I'm sorry. Not technologies shaming me. I'm sorry. No, I can't find the share button. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I would just go back. Please confirm you can see my screen, and a thumbs up will be fine. Thank you. Okay.
So there's no
There's
audio
no
now,
sound,
right?
see?
Sorry.
There's no sound.
Hey. Oh my God. No way. There's no sound. Apologies.
When you share screen, there's also an option to share sound. So try.
Okay, let me try that again.
Unshare and then share again.
Stop sharing. Now my okay, no, close. Yes, sound is there. Not sure. I have sound enabled. I'm not sure why it's not showing. Are you still hearing it? No?
We can't hear you. We
No,
can't hear the sound at all.
Oh, there's no sound.
Okay, 2 seconds.
When you first started, there was the sound, but you probably clicked something that made it stop. When you first launched the app, I could hear.
Okay. Okay.
Onboarding, you'll complete a fun profile, answer questions about your favorite music.
Did you hear?
we could hear it now, yes.
So apologies. Let me just go back again. Apologies. Apologies, don't mistroll.
Welcome to Joyd, the vibrant wellness app designed just for mothers and those navigating postnatal depression. Let's dive in. Signing up is a breeze. Simply provide your name and nickname, your age, and location to receive personalized support instantly. During onboarding, you'll complete a fun profile, answer questions about your favorite music, exercise habits, and even how much water you drink. This unlocks tailored recommendations and a gamification level for an enjoyable experience. Set your preferences for activities and content to receive personalized interventions. With time limits to manage your usage and clear privacy options, you're in control every step of the way. Feeling supported is key. Let us know how you're feeling, and the app will adapt to your mood, offering customized content to lift your spirits. Take care of yourself with gentle reminders to drink water, stretch, or take a quick walk. View nutrition plans suited for you. Track your moods daily with check-in times that fit your schedule. Play therapeutic mini-games designed to relieve stress, or watch personalised videos featuring real mothers' stories. You'll feel less isolated and more connected. Access educational resources about postnatal depression and join the community to connect with others facing similar challenges. Integrate data from your fitness wearable for comprehensive insights into your health. Joyd supports you every step of the way. This innovative technology empowers you with personalised support, community connections, and resources designed to uplift your journey. Join the waiting list.
Thank you. So, okay, thank you. So that is what we have been working on. I have a team with me. We have partnered with a university in Scotland to make it evidence-based. I have two of the students I'm working with on the call. And I have a technology team as well that we're working with, again, just to speak about this, break the barrier, break the stigma of not being able to express how you're feeling, which has become a norm. But again, the need to break that, to be able to speak about it and to get help, the right kind of help, is what we are building. And, we cannot build this alone. Again, that's why, from this call, I've learned a lot. Like I said, it's wholesome. And I will take that learning into this phenomenal innovation that we are birthing, right? Like I said, the webinar would be regular, right? Because the ability for people to air and speak about things is a healing process. I have researched, I have seen, and I know that it worked. For instance, yesterday, I just had a need to speak, and I just spoke to someone about it. Again, the other thing that we're saying, again, change, right? As women grow and, they give birth or they get pregnant, that's a change. Sometimes the pregnancy can be painful, stressful, and all of that, but the need to feel understood, the need to feel supported, the need to feel that is a platform that can provide that avenue for you is what we are hoping to build with Joyd. So I am very happy that, again, quite a number of us have stayed from the beginning till this. And it's not because it's Tolu doing this, it's because we have learned a lot from what the speakers have given to us, from their wealth of experience and wealth of expertise. And I know that, like I said, the video that I showed in the beginning, the rippling effect of this is not just on me as a mother, it is on me to my community, it is me to my family, it is me to my workplace, it is me globally. And that's what we're hoping to take Joyd to. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has stayed on this call. Thank you to everyone that has worked with us to get this done, the media team, everyone that has stayed on this call. Like I said, it's going to be regular. We would be sending you invitations on it, and we would get more people to come and speak to us. Like we have rightly seen, the ability to talk about things is a step in your healing process. Again, you are not the only one, you are not alone. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. When you change your focus, what you focus on changes. So that I just want to leave those words with us. And I want to thank Dr. Monica, and I want to thank Mrs. Diot for honoring our invitation for this inaugural session. We hope that it will be more than this, but again, this is phenomenal to start with. So I'll just take final words from you two before we end it. Thank you. So anyone can go first.
Well, I'll unmute. I found this entire event extremely inspirational and very needed. From the first moment that you and I met, we knew that we have to talk more. And
Yeah.
exactly what you said, we need to talk, we need to speak up. Only when we speak up, we start noticing that we're not alone. I went through a miscarriage as well, and I felt, so many different feelings, but I started openly talking about the miscarriage and everything that went along with it. And so many other women came to me. That happened to me, that to me, that to me, that to me. And I was suddenly not alone in my problems anymore. So whatever you're facing, there will be tons of women out there who have faced the same thing. And if we create the sisterhood of women who help and support each other, then the world is going to be a lot nicer place. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Dave. You're muted.
Thank you, Monica. Nice to meet you. Nice to hear your experience. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being real. And thank you for Tolu for this platform. It's great. The more we talk about it, the wider reach we will gain. And even the app also. I hope that it blows the waves. I hope that it's, I can't remember the terminology that people use these days. I just hope that it goes out and it reaches those people, but it's going to be from us that are here to tell people, okay, this is available. Let's talk about it. Let's help each other. Be that change agent. Remember that yarn, that wool that is brew, 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 brew. If it's just one that you pull to help that woman to, okay, navigate this side, it's perfectly okay. Someone hopefully would pull another side, and even her or him will pull another side, and then you get a beautiful pattern. You get a beautiful woman, you get a beautiful colleague, you get a beautiful sister, you get a beautiful somebody that you'll be able to relate with. And if we can grow like that, it will be best for everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share.
Thank you so much, everyone. Like I said, it's amazing. I didn't imagine we would spend this much time, but I can't even, I can't even say where the time went, but it has been wholesome in every word, in every aspect of it, from the learnings to the experience to everything. Like I said, it's a lot more than this, and we will invite you. I look forward to hosting you in the next sessions. And, when we finally go live, right, when we have the main launch to test run this platform, I look forward to inviting you all. And yes, like I said, a candle doesn't lose anything by lighting another. The room only gets brighter. So yes, feel free to connect with Dr. Monica, and see you all next time. Thank you so much, and God bless. Okay, bye now.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much, Tolu.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You've done a very great job.
Thank you, Kati. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know as well.
Oh no.
Thank you, Sister Tolu. Congratulations.